Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back. I'm going to continue from Canada, of course, about our justice system, which is now creeping across the world. It was created by a man named Joseph Trudeau. This man who studied communism and went to support communist dictatorships around the world when they defeated democracy, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which is our police force of Canada, destroyed his file when he told them to destroy his file because he was running for Prime Minister of Canada and he didn't want anybody to know about his communist leanings. In fact, he taught communism at the University of Montreal. And in 1978, he created a new court for Canada called the Federal Court of Canada, which didn't exist before. He said it's been there since 1867. It may have been on the books, possibly, if anyone has gone back that far to take a look at what Canadian diplomats were, lawyers and stuff were thinking about in 1867. That would be an interesting thing. But anyway, the Federal Court of Canada, my lawyer friend pointed this out to me. Its only job is to protect the government of Canada from the people, and that's communism. Actually, because of where he's from, this man is from the state of Quebec, province of Quebec. They have Napoleonic Code there, which very conveniently they have changed the name to Civil Code, which is also the code of most of Europe now. And Napoleon was a dictator, clearly a dictator. Some people thought he was an antichrist. I don't know that he was actually an antichrist. But anyway, we have the laws of a dictator in Canada now, since 1978. Justin Trudeau's father, this man, whose real name is Joseph Philippe Pierre Yves Elliott Trudeau, he had 6 names, used to go to school in a Rolls Royce, but he wanted communism for the rest of Canada, which he did get. He wrote a constitution in 1981, and the prerequisite is that all the premiers and the governors of the territories had all signed it. Everybody had to sign, without exception. There couldn't be an exception. Except there was a man named René Lévesque, who was the leader of, I've forgotten what party that was, and they had a different name at that time. Anyway, the province of Quebec, which accounts for 25% of the population of Canada, he refused to sign it. And when he refused to sign it, he left in the middle of the night, went back to Quebec. He's very angry with this man, and so this man, Joseph Trudeau, signed it in right of Quebec. But he's not the premier of Quebec. But communists do that. You know, if you're not there, and there's been a challenge on the books for a long time because of these people who have always refused to hear the challenge. Is it a valid constitution? And what does it mean anyway? In fact, there was part of the Constitution called Section 35. This man wrote Section 35, but he has no idea what it is. He even told people, he says, it's for future generations to work out. So how the hell does that happen? Anyway, here in Canada, I've been in court many times. I have not yet been permitted to speak. Judges in Canada have all of our rights. The people of Canada have not one right, not one. We don't have them. Joseph Trudeau, this man, gave all of the rights, Charter of Rights and Freedoms, to the judges of Canada. He didn't like the people. Who appointed all the judges? He did. Now, wasn't that an interesting thing? Communists are like that. I mean, he's a very sly guy. He's very slippery. He had the RCMP destroy his file because, you know, and he liked to bang the girls from Hollywood. They were coming up here by the plane load. God, the list is amazing. Every man in Canada wanted to be him because they wanted to share their bed with these Hollywood girls. Which, this man, being Prime Minister of Canada, he used to call the parliamentary chef. They have a great kitchen in Parliament. It's a dining room. And when people like Barbara Streisand were in town, you know, they would call him and he would say, well, where are you, Babs? Where are you? Hey, listen, Babs, I'll get the parliamentary chef around and he can knock us up something to eat and then I'll try to knock you up. And you know, I can do it, Babs. Oh, yes, baby, I can. So anyway, Barbara Streisand's here. She's eating in the parliamentary restaurant. It's 2 a.m., you know, and they're having a bottle of Chianti. You like the expensive wines from around the world. You know, most communist leaders do that. The people have to eat rice and beans, and he eats, you know, he once very famously said, when he went to the parliamentary dining room, he says, "Are the avocados fresh?" Who else was on his list? Well, let's see. Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder liked to do stand-up screwing against a tree on the back lawn of 24 Sussex Drive, which is now closed to the public and nobody lives there. Parliament's also closed. Nobody works there. Parliament does not open again. The Parliament buildings, I think, is 2029. Because This man didn't like it, so he has it renovated. It's all scaffolding and tarpaulins and workers from, specialized people who work in stonework and flooring and stuff. And it's going to be under construction for another, where are we at, another 7 years before anyone can go back in. And this man made his past and his dealings with Petro-Canada, when he made Petro-Canada, a secret for 50 years past his death, because he made a lot of money, took a lot of money out of the place. This group has no authority at all. They only have authority over the people. They have no authority whatsoever over the government. Nothing. And I know. We had 50, in 2016, there were, this is Beverly Ann McLaughlin, a woman with a 2-year law degree, was appointed by Brian Mulroney. She became the top judge in Canada. She studied law for 2 years. It's quite remarkable how we live here. Oh, here's Brian Mulroney. This man demands bribes. And then when he got caught, the RCMP decided, well, we better lose all the evidence against him. So they did lose it all. And then he got off. And then this woman permitted him to bring a case against Canada for $50 million. And what did he get? $50 million. He had appointed the judge. That's how it goes here in Canada. That's how we do it. I myself have been in the court many times. I've never been permitted to speak. Here's another communist. This is Jean Chrétien, the man who advised the Prime Minister of England how to defeat the Scottish movement to separate from England. He told them what he did for Quebec. He said, promise them, you will be promising them the world there on that thing, and then when they are voting to stay, you take all your promises back. This is what his did too. He was a bully. He was considered a bully as a lawyer because he studied English Napoleonic Code. And here's another fantastic prime minister, also from Quebec. His name is Paul Martin. Paul Martin could not find, when he had to appoint a governor general here, couldn't find a woman. He wanted to have a woman, of course. You know how right now everything is all very woke, but woke started a while ago here in Canada. We've been doing it. He could not find anyone that was suitable. So he went to this woman from Haiti, a citizen of Haiti and a citizen of France, and she's working in Canada. So he begged, took him 3 attempts to get her to sign on. Then there was, beaucoup de problème. This man discovered something. This woman's name is Michaëlle Jean, not Michelle, Michaëlle. Michaëlle Jean is not a citizen of Canada. She can't become the Governor General. So this man had to convince her to give up citizenship to Haiti and France. She didn't mind giving up citizenship to Haiti, but France, that was different. That took some extra special begging. So what did this man do? Paul Martin, the great one. He is from Quebec. He is the communist one. He got 3 emissaries. This is true. You can look this up. To go to her house, and she was married to a guy from France. So his name was Lalonde or something, and they were great friends of this terrorist group, which nobody wants to call them terrorists, but they killed people. They blew up mailboxes. That's terrorism, but Canada doesn't see the FLQ, the Front de Libération du Québec, is what it really is. So she was a very good friend of theirs, and she worked for, at that time, Radio Canada, which is the French wing of the CBC, Communist Broadcasting, we call it now. We used to be the Canadian Broadcasting, but now Communist Broadcasting. So anyway, once these emissaries showed up, and by the way, I said they were riding moose, but there were three of them. They were all men. They went to her door, and she lived in Montreal, I believe, prostituting themselves on her front doorstep. Please, please, please give up your citizenship to France and become a Canadian. We need a Governor General, please. She did. She liked the money. And you know, when she became a citizen of Canada, then she had tremendous loyalty to Canada. And before, she had tremendous loyalty to Haiti. And tremendous loyalty to France. In France, you know breakfast in France is croissant au chocolat, which is a croissant sandwich with a stick of dark chocolate shoved in the middle of it, hot. I've had it. I was in France once. Oh. was there for 2 weeks. The lingo is a little hard. They speak, their brand of French is considered formal. Quebec's brand of French is considered slang French. And the pronunciation is really quite different. So it's very difficult if you're from Canada and you've learned French in Canada and you go to France and the people of Quebec do not go to France. You would think like this man who was so hot on the Hollywood girls, and so we find him again, Pierre Trudeau, and he was a billionaire. He is a billionaire. He's dead now. His sons are now billionaires. That he would be fooling around on the French Riviera, you would think, right? He's a bon vivant. They used to call him, he called himself a sportif, a sportsman. And you would think that he would be on the French Riviera, wouldn't you? Having fun with all those French starlets, you know? Except they couldn't understand what he was saying. His brand of French is so working class, shall I say. Even Justin Trudeau, when he was, there was a meeting in France, what was it, the G7 or something, he was talking to Macron, and while he was talking to Macron, I noticed that Macron looked at him and went, ugh, that is the wrong way to say that. You know, they're speaking French only, of course. But in Canada, we have abbreviated the French. I don't know what we've done to it. I'm not fluent in French. I know some restaurant French, let's say, so you can get poutine, well made, of course. So I have and in 2016, the court system of Canada was changed by Justin Trudeau's father, Joseph. I like to call him Joseph because that's his real name. He chose Pierre because Pierre sounds more intellectual, and he used to call himself an intellectual. But he's also a communist, and the RCMP did him a great favor. And see this man here, the son of Pierre, he raped, allegedly, one of his high school students. She had to try to get him, and she wanted him charged for rape. He got fired from the job, the only person to ever get fired from there. So then what happened? The RCMP decided, no, we're not charging them. She's English, he's French, and the French man, in fact, this man will tell you that the French way of seeing things is totally different than the English. So he wasn't charged. The poor girl, she was from a wealthy family. They had lawyers standing by and it was going to happen. But the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, no, nothing to see here, nothing. I got to get going. I'm starting to rant. My cases have never been heard. No judges ever allowed me to speak. The judges that I've gone up against in Canada have always given private time to lawyers, and they help the lawyers win their cases. That's how justice is in Canada. And it is totally and absolutely supported by, I got to find her again, the woman with a 2-year law degree. She supports it totally. She said there was going to be one courtroom in Canada that would have video, that people could watch courts, but there'd just be one. She's going to pick it, and it's in the city of Vancouver. Did she do it? No. No. Why not? Because the Prime Minister called her. Zipping it. It's long, zip, zip, zip. Zip it real good. Thanks for listening to my rant. I still don't have justice. Not from 1995 until this day. No judge has ever allowed me to speak. I will not speak in the courtroom. There's 45,000 more like me from 2016. Now I suppose we're over 100,000, and Canada says it has rule of law. That is not rule of law. That's rule of communism. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye now.
Wow, Pedro gives you his special gypsy glasses and this is what you choose to look at? Pedro's not very sorry for you.